Hey y'all, welcome back to my Louisiana suburban food forest. I have been very busy. I shot the rest of this video that you're about to see on November 19th, the day after we brought our baby home from the hospital. I got a couple minutes of time to do that, and then I've been so busy since. And I wanted to show y'all how my swale's doing over here. We had some really heavy rain for 3 days. I need to do some leveling out, but there's roots over on that side, so I don't want to cut into them. I had to build up this dam after the first day of rain because a lot of the water washed out. You can see there's a ton of little flies trying to drink or lay eggs or something in here. I'm going to make sure that no mosquitoes come from this. I'll be diligent and watch it, and if they start to appear, I'll add a bunch of pea gravel and their water source will disappear. I decided not to take that persimmon from my father-in-law. I took some cuttings. I'll see if those will take. I want to try to get his persimmon back fruiting for him, so I don't want to take it. I wanted to show you all the front before we get into the video that I shot last month. I've got some fruit trees coming in, which I talk about in the video, and they're coming or shipping on Monday. So look, I've been laying down cardboard, putting a bunch of compost down, but I'm going to have 2 pear trees right there. That's a red bud. I'll have 2 nectarines and 2 plums right here. That'll be a pomegranate in the back, that small one. This is going to be 2 peaches. Got little mounds built up. I don't know if you can differentiate. And then right here is going to be 2, what else did I get? Apples. Yeah, I might put the pears here and put the apples over there. I haven't decided really. And then this will be a Pakistan mulberry. And then I've got the 2 pawpaws already in the ground right here. So I'll have my swale, my main swale, running through here, running in between these trees like this, curves with the land. It's going to come straight down here, feed these trees, coming from this way. And this is the low point of the land where all this water is going to drain from. You can hear it. It's getting soggy there. But it comes from there down to here. My swale up there will catch some, and then once I raise all of this, it'll flow into that and feed all these trees. And on the other side, there's runoff from the roof that comes down. I'm going to remove the center brick. You can see where this mulch is overflowing. That's where a bunch of water was trying to come through. So once I replace all this grass, I'll remove a few of those bricks to let the water flow through where I want it. Same thing that happens on this side right over here. So I'll channel that water into this swale instead of letting it overflow my little garden bed back here. So anyway, without further ado, I'll get into my content that I shot last month, but I wanted to give you all more updates because a lot's happened since then. So here I've got my fig cuttings that I did over a month ago, and a few of them are starting to leaf out, but I'm gonna check them and see if I can transplant some of these into the ground and get them where they're going. I've seeded some pumpkin seed kind of everywhere around the garden just to cover things, cover the area, cover the open ground, and get solar panels going everywhere, making sugars for the soil life. So I've got pumpkins kind of coming up everywhere, and I'll thin them out as needed, and I won't let them choke out these young trees, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. I'll direct the vines away and help cover some of this wood chip area is my main focus. So really this is going to be a path right here, and then another one right here, and I'm thinking of using this trampoline in some kind of way. I used the posts from it as hose guards for my beds, and I'm gonna try to maybe incorporate it so I can recycle it and have it be some kind of portal into the center of the food forest here. Between these are going to be pomegranates right here, so we'll see. I don't know, that may just not come to fruition, but maybe I'll be able to figure it out. So anyway, I'm gonna pull out these figs, see what's going on, and hopefully they're ready as I think they are. I'm just squeezing the side to ease them out. Oh yeah, look at all that root. They're doing good. So I'm going to be able to plant these right here and get them going in the spot where I want them. So I'll get back to you once I get these in the ground. Alright y'all, so I got these 5 figs that had pretty good root systems going, planted here in these compost piles that I've had sitting here for, I don't know, 3 weeks. And they're gonna make a nice little fig circle here behind this wisteria that I'm gonna train as a small bush tree thing. And I've got the fig that most of these cuttings came from, this Celeste. It had about 20 fall fruit on it, but since I transplanted it, I took them all off. I wanted it to focus on its root system, so it'll do great next year. It's so happy in this new spot. And then we've got the Satsuma that got hit so hard in the freeze in February and lost its main growth, and luckily this tiny little side shoot survived, but the graft is right there, so it looks like this wood's all dead and this is the only part that's alive. So I'm encouraging this growth to come this way, and I'll hopefully help balance and even it out. And I'm cutting off this growth and not letting it go too far. Definitely not going to let fruit form here. That would be bad. So the tarragon's flowering, Ruellia's still flowering. Just going to give you all a quick update because I've got a lot of new things going on and I haven't done an update in a while. We just brought home our baby girl from the hospital yesterday. She was born on my son's birthday on November 18th. So we've got a 5-year-old and a 0-year-old now. I've got a Black Beauty mulberry back here that should get to be about 15 feet if I let it, but I won't. I'm going to keep it 6-7 feet, but it'll do nicely over here. And I've also got, let's go see, I'll show you. Got Persian mulberry and a Collins Select pawpaw and an Eastern seedling pawpaw, so just a generic seedling. And I'll let it fruit and see how that is, but I'm going to graft onto all of these things and have multiple varieties on all my plants. I've been looking at scion wood for everything, and that's the plan. I want to have 4 varieties on each plant. So what else? We've got some of these persimmons starting to bud. I can tell that they're rooting in there really good. I figured out what these are. They're blackberry lilies. I've got some elderberry cuttings, elderflower back here, so I'm going to put those along the fence behind that mulberry and along that fence behind the creek. These are just rose cuttings, lots of gardenia cuttings because I pruned back my gardenias over there really heavily, and got ginger doing good. We've got some Russian sterile comfrey Bocking number 14. It's really high in nitrogen and potassium, so that's going to be the heart of my forest. I'm going to be making lots of cuttings off of this and propagating it, and I'm hoping to have 100 plants, maybe more, before I'm done in my front and backyard, and I'll be using that as the main source of chop and drop. I've got these asparagus. I'm going to transplant those into one of the beds with the herbs and tomatoes. Once the tomatoes are done, I'll get the herbs moved out. This is that goji. Oh, another one's popping up right there, but it's starting to get its secondary leaves. Sichuan pepper, still going strong. Strawberry guava. And beyond that, I've got 2 pears, hood and pineapple, and a Pakistan mulberry coming for the front. I'm going to get 2 apples for the front and some other things I haven't really decided yet, but this is really starting to shape up. I can see my vision coming to life before me, and it's so awesome. I didn't grow any food for my family before this year, and I always had lots of flowers, and we had a blueberry bush in a pot, and we had satsuma in the ground that wasn't doing well, and the fig was producing a few figs, but that's it. And I transformed this area, and all by myself with very little cost, because almost all of this stuff was free. And man, I couldn't be happier. I've got all these mixed lettuce and kale coming up in between these collards. I'm going to thin those out. And the carrots, the purple dragon, are doing well. They go along here. And these are the Nagasaki Akari Kabu turnips. They're starting to get decent size on them. These are Kiwano horned melons. You can see them up in there. And over here. Down there. These are supposed to taste something like passion fruit. They resemble like a horned cucumber. They're orange at maturity, and I'm really excited to try them because I've never tried them, and hopefully they live up to what I'm looking for. And these are gold ball turnips. They're getting close because these don't really get that big. You don't want them bigger than this, so I'm gonna probably let that one double and then take it out. These are the red of Florence onions. I've had a lot of dieback on these, but a lot of them are still going strong, so I'm really hopeful. Got Swiss chard and cabbage, Brussels sprouts, all in here. They're tiny, are red venture celery. So, and then in here are just random different herbs. I'll thin those out a lot. I just threw a bunch of herb seed everywhere, like you can see back here with these muscadines. There's herbs just everywhere. It's going to be crazy. And over here are Atlas carrots on this side. All of these are blueberries. These are all Climax, and this is Tiff Blue right here. The okra I'm letting go to seed so I can collect a lot of seed from it. It's Clemson spineless, but the Kiwanu melons are enjoying using it as a scaffold, and they're really happy with that. And the tomatoes, y'all, I've got tomatoes on every vine, and they've been ripening steadily, and my wife eats them almost instantly because she loves tomatoes so much, which is great. I've got Paul Robeson, Black Krim, Orange Cherry, Chadwick Cherry, Wisconsin 55, Big Boy, Big Rainbow, Azoichka, Cherokee Purple, Martian Giant. So I've got lots of varieties in here. I cut back my Thai basil recently. I got tons of seed from it and was wanting to open up more room in here for the tomatoes to get more light. And the sweet basil I'm letting go to seed, and I'll collect a lot of seed from that and then maybe cut it back as well to the ground. I'm not digging any of this out. I just cut it back. I'll let those roots rot in the ground. So that's basically what's going on right now. The Jimmy Nardella's peppers, still making some peppers here and there, still flowering. And I've got lots of pumpkins coming up. I'm going to thin those out. Lots of new Malabar spinach coming up because these berries are dropping everywhere. I collected maybe 300 of them. I don't know, 400. So I've got plenty. The ground cherries are starting to die back. They don't like that cold, and a lot of the ground cherries that fall are small and they're split, or they're not ripe yet. But this one looks like it's pretty good. May need to sit on the counter for a few days. I checked to see if they have any green on them on the end, and this one has a tiny little bit. So I would let that sit on the counter for a few days before eating it. I wait till the outer skin's kind of translucent and you can see all the seeds inside, and it gets that nice, at least yellow color. Orange is even better. They're even sweeter when they're orange. See, this one's split. That's been happening a lot. So I collected, I don't know, about 200 seed from it, and I've been just taking them and squeezing them, throwing them back in because I want them to reseed this area. So I'm positive that they will do that. What else? Not really much else. I know I say that, but I've been doing a lot with all that's been going on in my life. But it's looking amazing back here, and I'm just so proud of what I've done. And you can do this too. It's not difficult. It just takes a little bit of work. Get up off the couch instead of watching a show. Come out and move some wood chips for 20 minutes. Come out and move some compost and throw some seeds in the ground. That's all it took. So anyway, if you need any advice, want any help getting started, I just did this. I never grew a tomato before this year. I killed every tomato plant I ever had, and now I've got, I don't know, 16 varieties or something this year I had, and they did great early in the year, and then the heat hit and they kind of died back, but they're starting to recover, and everything's going great. So I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Thanks for tuning in.